Hi, I'm Doug O'Brien, and welcome to the Essential Coaching Skills Podcast. On today's episode, I'll be talking to you about the havening techniques and why it's so important to understand a certain system that goes involved in it. The science behind havening is solid, and what you learn from understanding how the system works will make you better at doing hypnosis, make you do it better at coaching, make you do better at affirmations, relaxation, de-stressing, a whole bunch of things. I'm going to show you how on today's broadcast. You are listening to the Essential Coaching Skills Podcast, a show devoted to uncovering the systems and the secrets that set the best apart, where you learn how to take your coaching clients to the next level, while you grow the coaching practice of your dreams. So sit back and relax, or sit up and get excited. Either way, you might want to pay attention. This could be important. Hi. So I was just adjusting the thermostat over there. That's my thermostat. Anyway, that's the thermostat. And that's part of what I'm going to be talking to you about today, because we're talking about havening techniques, yes, but I want to explain a certain thing about havening that I think is really important to understand, that it taps into the body's natural relaxation response system. And that's an important distinction that I'm going to dive into here a little bit, and I want you to notice how important that is and can be important for you. So, relaxation response. First of all, it's important to note that your body, all human bodies, all probably bodies in general, deer, antelope, have systems that are how we function. Obviously we do, but most of them are kind of in pairs and opposites. So for instance, if you want to straighten your arm or bend your arm, you've got biceps and tricep muscles, right? So to bend the arm, you tighten the bicep muscles while you relax the tricep muscle. To straighten the arm, you relax the bicep muscle while you tighten the tricep muscle. And this is how this functions. Likewise, we have a respiration system. We inhale, we exhale. It does different things. We've got different systems in the body for doing different things. We digest, we exhale, expirate, whatever, we get rid of stuff. We have an elimination system. In the same way, we have what's known as the sympathetic and the parasympathetic nervous system. And this is really important to know, and I'm going to be talking to you about today. Back in the 1980s, I think it was the 80s, a fellow wrote a book, Dr. Herbert Benson wrote a book called The Relaxation Response. It's a very, very good book, not very big, small little book, but packed with information. And what he describes is that the sympathetic nervous system and the parasympathetic nervous system are paired. The sympathetic nervous system, as the fight or flight response. Fight, flight, freeze, defensive rage, all those things are going to be when the amygdala gets potentiated, we get into fight or flight mode, or freeze or defensive rage, whatever it takes to survive, right? But that is the sympathetic nervous system. And it does certain things that are really important for survival, and we're really good at it. We've been practicing for millennia, we being human beings, right? So not necessarily me or you specifically in fight or flight situations all the time, but our ancestors and distant ancestors, etc., clearly, survived. Obviously they did in order to have us be here talking about this. So we can give thanks to this system, this fight or flight system. It helped us to outrun the predators or to fight off whatever we needed to do, to freeze, to whatever. We survived. But as great as the sympathetic nervous system is, if you are in that fight or flight mode all the time, you're going to get burned out, and it probably could be fatal, right? So it's nice to know that your body has an opposite system. As the sympathetic nervous system, it also has this parasympathetic nervous system. It is its own system. That's the important distinction to note. It is its own system. It is the relaxation system. It causes you to relax. When it is engaged, it causes you to relax. parasympathetic nervous system causes you to relax. When you flip that switch for it, it turns on the system that causes you to relax. It's not just not being stressed, it is actively relaxing. So it's a little bit like the thermostat over here. I'm going to try to do some fancy stuff here. I think I didn't I didn't prepare well enough. Okay, so I'm going to add this into this stream. I'm going to add this into the stream. I thought I did this earlier, but I think it's not too late. I think I can put them in without too much delay. So here's a big picture of the thermostat. So I want you to notice that the thermostat has, I'd go over there and touch it, but this is much better. You can see it close up. This is that's a picture I took of that thermostat before we started. And I drew the little red circle around it so you could see clearly. It has two systems. That is the heating system and has the cooling system. Heating system and the cooling system, which is, for our purposes today, analogous to the sympathetic and the parasympathetic nervous system. Think of the sympathetic nervous system as the heater. You know, things get hot, we get hot and bother, we get to fight or flight, you know, temperature rises. And we can relax from it by, you know, stepping away from the fight or whatever. Thank God that's over. But we can also do the opposite system. So let me show you this little video I made. Check this out. You can turn the system on for heat. And then so the heat is on. The heat is on, right? Or you can just step away and you just turn off the heat. And so eventually it'll cool down. And eventually it'll get there. You know, eventually it'll cool down. Or you could actually flip on the cooling system. And you hear it go on. Cool, huh? Stop, stop, stop. Don't stop. Get out of there. Just leave me alone. I have to talk to the director. So the cooling system can come on. So it's a system unto itself. It cools the house down. We all know this with houses. It's true for you. It's true for your clients. It's true for all human beings. We have a sympathetic nervous system, fight or flight. We have a relaxation response system in your body called the parasympathetic nervous system. According to Dr. Benson in that book, The Relaxation Response Technique, or the Relaxation Response is the title of the book. And I think he's got other, I think he had several, because it was such a successful book, I think he's got several, like relaxation response at work, relaxation response in the golf course. I don't know. I'm just making that up, but I think he's got several. That book, Herbert Benson, is great. What he explains in that is that one of the triggers, one of perhaps the only real trigger to the relaxation response, is a deep breath, which is why, when you stop and think about it, everything that has relaxation involved in it says, somebody will say, okay, to everybody take a deep breath. Sometimes they'll say, take a big relaxing breath. Or they'll take a big cleansing breath. But the breath is the universal. It's going to be in all of them. Because the deep breath is the on switch for the relaxation response system, according to Dr. Benson. You know, years ago, I used to teach, well, not teach exactly, but I used to present hypnosis seminars for weight loss and for smoking cessation. I would travel the country. I've done thousands. Well, I've hypnotized tens of thousands of people in the course of several years of doing this on a weekly basis. So I would typically ask a room full of smokers, how many people here have ever smoked to relax? And 99.999% of the people would raise their hand. If somebody didn't raise their hand, they're probably just, you know, too stoned or something to do that. I'm not sure. But everybody has smoked to relax. And so after they raised their hand, I said, okay, great. I just wanted to see how many certifiably insane people we have here in Omaha. Because, and I'd make a joke. I'd say, because you're smoking to relax. You know, when you smoke, you're taking in an active ingredient called what? Nicotine. Everybody knows nicotine. I said, nicotine. Nicotine, that's a stimulant. You know, it's got the same root as caffeine and amphetamine, you know, nicotine. It's a stimulant. So you're inhaling a stimulant to relax. Maybe there's a better system. But then I would point out to them that they did relax in spite of the cigarettes providing all that nicotine. So in spite of the fact that they're inhaling a stimulant, which is essentially doing stress to the body. It's kind of like the dictionary definition of stress. It stresses your body. It constricts your blood vessels. It speeds up the heart rate. It basically does medical definition of stress. And yet people are going, so relaxing, right? Why? Number one, because they have a belief that if I do this, then I'll do that. So it's basically a hypnotic structure, isn't it? Hypnotic's the structure of hypnotic suggestion. If this, then that. If I smoke, then I'll relax. And so, of course, I do relax. But it is also what? The deep breath. So I would tell people, here's what you're going to do. Don't tell anybody that you've quit smoking. And so during work, you can turn off the heater. You can leave this stressful situation. Go outside, like you've done many times. Says, I need a break. And they'll say, oh, he's going to smoke some more. I thought he quit. But you go outside, and then you're turning off the heater. But then you pretend you're smoking. You go. So it is all the anchors of my old habit without the cigarette being there. But it incorporates the deep breath, which causes the trigger of the parasympathetic nervous system. The relaxation response happens in the body. Now, if that's where the story ended, that'd be a good story, because now you know how to trigger your relaxation response. Now you know how to trigger your parasympathetic nervous system. And there's more, because 2012, I was introduced to the havening techniques. 2013, I became certified as a havening practitioner. 2014, I think it was, I got certified as a havening trainer because I saw such incredible value in this world of the havening techniques. But part of what really turned me on to it was the science that Dr. Ronald Rudin created. Dr. Rudin is a MD and a PhD. He did real, actual studies, research to find out how this worked, and discovered, actually it's the work of Dr. Melvin Harper that he brought on, that when you touch your body in certain places, you get delta waves. It just does. When I throw this switch, electricity makes that happen on this light. When I throw this switch, electricity makes that happen in this light. Your body is electrical. Your body is electrical chemical. Every sensation that you see, hear, feel, taste, everything is transduced into an electrical signal to get to your brain, which is encased in this skull up here. It doesn't see anything. Your brain doesn't see, doesn't hear, right? It's all electrical chemical. It doesn't feel, it doesn't taste. Your brain is this computer up there, right? It sees because the photon receptors in your eyeballs send electrical signals to your brain that is transmogrified in the optical cortex into images. We go, oh, I see that, or we hear this. It's all electrical. It's all electrical chemical. And the research shows definitively that when you do this, or any sort of sensations on your face, on your hands, palms of your hands, arms, this electrical signal is a slow electrical signal for brainwaves. It's fast. It's 0.4 to 5 hertz. It's pretty fast, but it's the slowest brain wave, delta wave, that gets to your brain. When delta wave gets to your brain, it releases, because your body's electrical chemical. When the electrical part gets to your brain, it releases oxytocin and dopamine and serotonin and GABA. And by the way, the dopamine part of that, dopamine is a lot like an electrical photon or whatever, but electron, because it does a variety of different things. The dopamine molecule is a molecule. I guess it's a molecule. It's a very small, very simple little molecule, and it does different things. Like electricity does different things. Electricity is powering your computer right now. Electricity is powering the thermostat and the air conditioner, the lights. It does a lot of different things. Depending on where you put it, it'll do different functions. It'll heat up the stove. It'll cool off the apartment, right? It does different things. Dopamine does different things in your brain too. It's not just a pleasure receptor. It does different things depending on what part of the brain it goes to. Whatever it lights up, dopamine is involved. So when you do this, it's relaxing. But you can also get dopamine when the fight or flight thing. It happens. It goes to a different part of the brain, but it's one of the molecules that is involved. It's interesting. So when you do the havening touch, when you do the touch on the arms, when you do the touch on the face, cheeks or the forehead or both, the body is giving your brain a dose of delta waves. Delta waves release or cause the brain to create dopamine, serotonin, GABA, and oxytocin. It's a lovely neural cocktail that causes the body to down-regulate. It relaxes your body. Add a deep breath or two to the mix, and you have a very potent way of relaxing your body, of de-stressing your body. So try it on for size for a moment, just right now. Unless you're driving, in which case, don't do what I'm about to say. But if in all other factors, if you are driving, pull over and try this, or remember it next time you stop. But probably if you're driving, just don't listen to this. What I'd like the rest of you to do is to close your eyes and just do this havening touch. Try it. You reach up as far as you can on your shoulders and stroke down to your elbows and reach up and stroke down again. It's always a downward stroke. Now, some of you savvy listeners probably noticed I said you could also do padding or whatever, up and downwards works too. Melvin Harper's research, they used electrical vibrating pads on the arms, and they showed that, yes, you get delta waves. So you could stroke upwards if you wanted to, but you could stroke a cat against the grain of its fur too. Why? It feels better when you do it this way. Unless you don't agree with that, in which case you're free to do whatever you want on your arms. But stroking your arms for a minute, close your eyes, take a big, deep breath in, perhaps a cleansing breath or not. But deep breath in, hold it for just a few seconds until you really feel you're ready to let it go, and then let it all go. Just exhale the breath. Keep stroking the arms. And then do that again. Nice, full, deep breath in. Very easy, not forcing anything. Just relaxing. Just relaxing. And then if you want to switch over to havening your face, you can do the forehead. It's usually from the center outwards, but it doesn't have to be. Cheeks, usually from the center outwards, but again, it doesn't have to be. Whatever feels good. You can do the whole face too. I've seen one video that says it's always a downward stroke on the face, and I think they got confused because it's always a downward stroke on the arms, but it's kind of whatever you want to do on your face. All's good. It's all good. Most people just do a kind of general purpose face, but anyway. You can also, by the way, haven your hands, just the palms of the hands at some point. But right now, let's just stick to the face. And imagine in your mind, visualize a place that to you is a very relaxing place to be. It might be a chapel, church. It might be a lakefront. It might be an oceanfront. It might be a mountain retreat. Could be a cruise. But someplace where you would relax. Could be a living room, a den, kitchen, wherever it might be for you. Pick one really relaxing place, and in your mind's eye, go there now. Continue havening your face and havening your arms if you want to do that, and switch over or your hands, but keep stroking, keep doing this touch on your face, touch on your arms, and in your mind's eye, go to that place. So your body here is being havened. In your mind, you're going to this beautiful place, and find a place in that place where you can stretch out and settle down. Maybe a chaise lounge on the cruise ship deck, maybe a towel spread out in the sand at the beach, maybe a hammock by the lakefront. Wherever it is for you, stretch out. Maybe it's your favorite chair at the library, but stretch out. Imagine you are there now. Be there now. See things through your own eyes as if you're there in that moment. Imagine that you're there, you're looking around, seeing the lakefront, seeing the water, seeing the trees, seeing the books, whatever it is for you. See what you would see if you were there right now, and hear the sounds they would hear right now through your own ears. Say the kinds of things to yourself that you would be saying to yourself, like, I love this place. And just be there. Just be there for a few minutes, relaxing, letting go of any stresses and tensions, just being in that place right here, right now. And it might be kind of an interesting sensation to really put yourself there, feel yourself there, relaxing there, sinking down into the cushions of the chaise lounge or swinging gently on the hammock, whatever it is, but really putting yourself there while at the same time being very well aware that you're here, stroking your arms or face, listening to the sound of my voice, listening to a podcast, watching a podcast. Kind of interesting to be able to appreciate both at the same time, because you really can enjoy both at the same time. And so as you relax more and more now in that favorite easy chair there on the beach blanket, just take a moment, a minute or two of clock time, and just be there. Just be there, relaxing fully. Listen to the silence of the library or the ocean waves coming in onto the shore. Whatever is accurate and true for your environment, take a minute. Enjoy it. Fully be there now, while you continue to apply the havening touch to your face or to your arms or to just your hands. And while a minute of clock time has not yet gone past, because silence in a podcast is probably almost as bad as silence in a radio. Probably a radio is worse. People are going to be saying, what's wrong with this? And turn the channel real quick. But nevertheless, I'm going to start talking some more. But you can stay there as long as you want. And now you know how to do this. It's a very simple process, isn't it? Now, the havening techniques themselves are a bit more complicated when you really want to do a sort of a therapeutic application of this psychosensory therapy. It takes a bit more than what we've just done. But this is good. You know, doctors are telling us right, left, and center how important it is for us to de-stress. This is a really good way to do it. The deep breath from the relaxation response, and also, the addition of the delta waves by stroking the arms, stroking the face, and utilizing the power of your mind to take you to a place where you will actively relax. Many years ago, and this is many years ago, I was a student in London, and I attended in London for a year, and I attended this fair, this health fair at this auditorium somewhere. I really have no idea where it was, but there was a booth that had biofeedback. It was a brand new thing, new technology, but they had this thing, and I was into meditation at the time. So the guy said, "Hey, you're into meditation? You have a seat. Try this exercise." And he showed me the brainwaves, and he said, "Okay, go ahead and meditate and relax. Go ahead, show us how you can relax." And I said, "Okay, I'm going to relax now." and the biofeedback was like, get worse and worse. I said, "Oh, that's pretty good." I said, "Okay." Sarcastic bastard. And then I said, then he said, "Forget about that. Don't try to relax. Just in your mind's eye, take yourself to a beach." He literally told me to go to a beach. So I went to a beach in my mind's eye, and I just lay down on the beach blanket by the water, listen to the waves coming in, going out. all in my imagination, nothing about the breath, just imagining that. And the biofeedback machine went, it slowed way down. My brain waves went down, which is what will happen for you when you do this sort of combo of things. Turning off the heat, right? Take a deep breath, switching on the parasympathetic nervous system, the cooling system, adding the havening touch to it, actually employs the activated relaxation response. It activates the relaxation response. It is the activated relaxation response. So it is a system for relaxation, not just not being stressed, but actively relaxing. That's what havening offers. And when you add the other havening techniques to that, then you've got a really powerful psychosensory therapy that you might want to check out a little bit more. I'll be having trainings in it throughout the fall, and in the future, other people do too. If you go to havening.org, you can find other trainers of it. Perhaps someone in your area is doing a live training that you could attend live. Havening.org is the way to go for that. Here at essentialcoachingskills.com, you can find about things, and also at my other sister website called ericksonian.com, named after Ericksonian hypnosis. So ericksonian.com for that. But I invite you to explore, enjoy, or just use what you've got today. Either way, thank you for being here. This has been the Essential Coaching Skills Podcast. Thank you for being here. It's a pleasure seeing you again. Hope to see you again real soon. Come back next week when we have another gripping and exciting episode of the Essential Coaching Skills Podcast. And if you want to, you can find out more about us, each and every one of us, at essentialcoachingskills.com. Thanks.